Hi everybody, welcome to this expert briefing. We are talking about the topic of the moment, definitely the topic of the first half of 2025, and it feels like continuing to be the topic for the rest of the year and the new Microsoft FY as well. We're getting into agents and agentic and what does it mean, and particularly Microsoft have some really powerful agents in the box, so we're going to focus on some of those and some use cases. Familiar faces in the community, we've got Alev and Chris. For the couple of people that may not know you guys, Alev, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everyone, my name is Alev Tamer. I am a senior Copilot technical specialist based in the UK, and I am aligned with most of the industrial and pharmaceutical customers. Chris?
Yeah, hi everyone, Chris Wheeler. I am also another Copilot technical specialist aligned to public safety and national security in our public sector space.
Awesome. And agents really has been the conversation at the moment. Maybe we can start with like just defining, we've got AI and we've got Copilot and now we've got agents. How do you define agents versus Copilot? What's the difference?
I would define them as my digital colleagues. So it's just having a set of information which is different than Graph API, which is Microsoft 365 ecosystem when it comes to data, just to interact either as a chatbot, which is we can create with create agents as declarative agents, but also there are some autonomous agents can act or create tasks or automate mundane tasks. So I just define them like this.
So it's by you're talking about by use case. So it could be a scoped chat conversation, or it could be a more autonomous or semi-autonomous. It goes and does a thing for me potentially.
Yes.
I think what makes it really special is it's all specialized and instructed in the way that we work. So obviously in terms of Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot, we've made it as agnostic as possible, regardless of what industry you work in. But if there's
the broadest possible use case, right? It's
Exactly.
a giant LLM that's sucked up all this information and all this data, and it can have a go at anything really.
Exactly. And it still does a really good job. But what we're saying is agents is just that next step in that evolution of more specialized tasks, more specific outcomes. For us as an organization, what is it that we want to achieve? What instructions do we need to ingrain in a specific agent? What knowledge does it need? What connectors does it need? So this is where it gets a lot more customized, and I think this is where it gets really creative. And some of the new agents that are coming out of the woodwork are really, really enhanced and really making a huge impact in our customer base.
Awesome. And then the other kind of piece of that puzzle is reasoning and reasoning models and kind of multiple turn type scenarios. So we've just recently, as of recording, seen researcher and analysts come in, which are the first kind of reasoning agents into the M365 stack as well, which is really exciting.
Yes. So we are releasing pre-builds or what we called first-party agents as Microsoft, and they will be included in Microsoft 365 Copilot, like Facilitator, AI Interpreter, Skills, Employee Self-Service, Project Manager. So Copilot will basically help you co-manage your project because we are not trying to remove the human element, but the two agents are groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Research and analyst.
Yeah, and I think that's something that the whole industry's been excited about, because you get, rather than you kind of going back forward, you can kind of set it some homework. Say, go off, do some searching, work things out, think things through, come back to me with an answer.
Yeah, the quality's massively increased from the 4.0 models. Even though 4.0 is still really good, it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. So, I mean, the clue's in the name, researcher by itself, to go off and research and check his findings and go back and forth, like you said, it's just, does such a good job. And the accuracy and the real depth of the information is just really astounding. And just on that subject as well, obviously the models that are driving this as well, we're also making those available if you wanted to build your own agents, if you wanted to use those same models. So it's not just we're creating our own and that's it. We're giving that capability to our customers as well.
Yeah, I think the pre-built or the your first-party models or agents are a great example of like, okay, researcher goes and does this, but I could build an agent that does the similar level of searching and reasoning and diligence over a different data set, and potentially, obviously, with the Microsoft 365 stack, over your own private corporate data because it's all secured and controlled. So that's really interesting, is the ability to take this kind of power against your corporate data as well.
That's what differs that from Copilot, chat, work, or web. And the great thing, you'll be able to use research in Microsoft 365 apps. So when you are trying to create a documentation or a PowerPoint presentation, you'll have the capability to select research. So you don't have to
awesome. And
use
to go
it
out to the
separately.
Copilot interface as well. Well, maybe we can start with research, actually. Alev, I know you've got an example of one you've done before, but while Alev pulls up, Chris, maybe you could set the scene. What is Researcher? What's it for? Why would I go to Researcher Agent rather than just Copilot?
Yeah, so Researcher in a nutshell is our deep reasoning agent that's built on O3 by OpenAI. So it's a more enhanced large language model that's designed to be really iterative, to go back and fact check itself. Where previously like models have been like a question and answer, so it's like a one-time round trip. This one actually goes through a load of sub layers of processing to make sure that it is getting the right answers. Maybe it needs to go and question those answers as well to get an even better response as well. So we're all about kind of the accuracy, but the intensity of the data and the output that's generating for us. And then what you'll notice is when you use it, instead of just like a couple of paragraphs, this is so well structured and so it's deep, man. It's it's like really like it's intense, but in the sense that, you know, some of the things that it comes up with is just phenomenal. Just how, as if you were talking to someone with like a PhD in a specialized subject. The way it breaks down certain topics and structure, and it goes back. And the other thing as well that I really like about Researcher is it goes and you can actually see what it's reasoning over. So it actually tells you its logical steps of thinking before it produces the output as well. So you can actually go through that with the Researcher agent as well. So
see where it's gone in its thinking, you know, to use a human term, exactly. It's gone down this road or it's gone down that road, and that can be really interesting as well, because that can teach you about, I might need to change my prompt slightly, or, you know, like, or it finds out a whole bunch of things that you can then go down the road.
About that, it will actually help you enhance your prompts with a button.
Oh, nice. Well, Alev, why don't you bring up your example, because that will help bring it to life for people.
Of course. Let me share my screen. So this is one of the examples. So these are the topics that we are going to discuss today. And Researcher will help everyone, because sometimes we do spend hours and hours amount of time just to do some research about new specific things. And I don't know, Tom, you are one of the experts in this UC world. Now it's just the Copilot world. But think about keeping up with all of the recent announcements, with Microsoft Build, with Microsoft Ignite.
Yeah, I use it a lot. I like Infocom. Off the back of Infocom, I'll be like, find me all the Teams-related announcements and news, provide me a summary. Things like that is super useful for me, because it will diligently go and do all, particularly reasoning over the web content, all the search stuff, which is really useful.
And now it's also bringing your work content. So I just ask it to create me talking tracks to cover these topics for a podcast. And I just listed all the topics in the email. And Researcher will give me some different recommendations. Do you have any specific examples or scenarios you want to include for each agent? I can just ask it to, please go through the web and give me the specific use cases for a specific industry if I'm speaking with one of my customers.
So this is what you're talking about when you're talking about enhancing the prompt. Like, Researcher is trying to get you to do the best it can do there?
No. So enhancing prompts is another button that I can maybe show you with an example.
Yeah, let's see it. Yeah. Sorry, let's go through this example first then.
So I can just ask it to be specific for a specific use case or topic, or I can just go ahead and draft the talking track. And then I can see an incredible level of steps and detailed it's actually taken. And
the big difference here, you're showing an example where this is already run through. It can take 5, 10, 15 minutes to gather this data. So whereas that first gen of LLM, like the 4.0 type model, was all about fast response, like we were like answer question. This, you're giving the machine, the LLM, time to reason, to do the searches, to cross-reference all the data, and that's where you get this, as Chris said, this really deeper result.
That's correct. And sometimes I was literally impressed because sometimes it was just gathering information and it was actually, I can see, oh no, this information is irrelevant. Let me check and go through this website. Oh, yes, this might be a useful one. And it's just
we do a lot of obviously research on empowering cloud, and it's like comparing Teams rooms bars or whatever, and you'll be like, find the number of screens it supports, and you'll see it do variants of different queries. It's like, oh, I screen didn't work, I'll try monitor didn't work, I'll try display. Like, it's really trying to get the best result it can.
And now everybody's talking about, yes, we need AI in our day-to-day work, but it's a huge investment. How can AI help with my business goals or my key KPIs, or how can I actually get the actual return of investment using generative AI technologies? It can be with Microsoft, it can be with others. Now I can actually, so some of the time when I'm doing live demonstration to our customers' C-levels, I'm just, hi Copilot or hi researcher, please act as my strategical research and just go through all the web, all the Microsoft Build announcement and create me a report where you can actually help me just have return of investment.
Yeah. And the big thing, you mentioned it earlier there, is like other LLMs have had reasoning models. So obviously ChatGPT's got it, Gemini's got it. But the big difference here is this is all baked into Copilot. So it can access your work data subject to you allowing it and the permissions and everything else. But if I'm like, for example, I'm a product manager and I look after a product, it's got access to the PowerPoints about the product. It can start to reason over the internal data as well as the web data.
The other thing as well, the other thing as well, which is quite interesting, is that obviously now this is included in your Microsoft 365 Copilot license. So there's a huge amount of value compared to if you started using those separately with third party, then the cost of actually using a deep reasoning model is quite substantial. So what we've done is we've set the fair usage for using these agents, but well within the actual budget of the actual license cost of Microsoft 365. So there's no additional cost of using these agents as well as obviously being grounded in the data, and obviously that's where the benefit is as well, so all the graph data.
Yeah, at time of recording, we get, I think 25 is the current public number for number of deep research queries you can do within the M365 Copilot license. So these are quite computationally expensive, and all the other models have some kind of limit as well. So you're getting quite a lot in your box for your $30 there.
It's still early days in that regard, because obviously like this is a new model, and over time it should come down. So it should be quite a lot more cost effective or processing effective to do that. So I guess like if you have a look inside of say like Copilot Studio or even Azure AI, you can see those models and the deeper reasoning in regards to like the number of messages or tokens it consumes. It's obviously a lot more than just using your standard GPT-4 or 4.0 models basically. So we're still at that high precipice, but for us to include it in that per user per month license and at 25 attempts or 25 interactions, it's highly beneficial without having to pay any more. So yeah, there's a lot of value in there.
Yeah, and obviously when you go into the Copilot Studio mode, you can have as many as you want because you're paying on a consumption basis in that scenario, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, Copilot Studio, you could just go above and beyond, because you're talking about loads of other things like patching into different topics, different systems, different knowledge sources. We've been doing a lot of work with like multi-agent functionality as well. So that's where like agents can talk to each other. We've obviously got things like MCP, which is going to be a great tool for patching into different systems and knowledge sources as well. So
I feel a second briefing coming on already, Chris. There's a whole world of...
Sign me up.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole... I think this one will get a really good foundation of what Microsoft's doing with it, but we should talk about that stuff, because then you're able to... If you think through what we're showing here, imagine applying this kind of logic, but to your specific use case.
Development level, low code, pro code. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you see this result, it's very professional. So it's not just baked into work information, it's actually baked into Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So you can just click to open Word, and the Word documentations will be available without doing copy and pasting. And the great news is you'll be able to see PowerPoint presentation. So this will actually create a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, interesting. That's new to me. I haven't tried that yet. That's exciting.
And also, if you like listening to podcasts, you'll be able to create an audio overview from the Word documentation. So these kind of things are really, really, it will change how you work.
Yeah, I'm really excited about audio summaries. We've got that coming to meeting transcripts as well. So being able to pick multiple meetings to generate a summary. But actually, a researcher report plus an audio summary is a really great personal workflow for me, because I've got about a half-hour drive to the office. It's like that's a perfect window for like gen me up on the summary of that research. Would be really useful.
So for the enhancing prompts, you will have the buttons to enhance your prompts.
Oh, interesting. So that's running your prompt probably through a 4.0 or similar model, tuning it up, ready to run your research report.
Yes. And this will be available in all of the prompt windows. So it's not just specific for, I can just regenerate.
Yeah, we had some previous out-of-the-box agents, so you would have seen things like writing coach, prompt coach, so very similar sort of process, but just instead of going to that agent, this is just a click of the button. Yeah, just
bringing it right into the UI. That's wicked. Awesome. Anything else on researcher, or should we jump into analyst now?
I don't think so, no. I think researcher is, it's going to be... it's going to be extremely impactful, I think, in terms of, where we position it as well. Any new changes, obviously, we'll communicate that out as well. There's a few things that we're thinking about in terms of future roadmap. But, for the moment, using those O3 models, it's definitely a step forward, I think.
Nice. Okay, so analyst. So this is a different agent. So what's the proposed use case for Analyst Agent?
So Analyst Agent, we integrated with Python, so it will be able to just give really advanced data insights within complex Excel spreadsheets as well as other data sets. And I can use a prompt, create a table with the volume of planets, add a column to show the volume as multiple of Earths, and a row to show how the sum compares to the volume of the sun. So like you see, you'll be able to see the advanced reasoning capabilities. And the great thing is you don't have to know anything about Python coding. It's just you using your natural language to ask anything, ask it to create bar charts, diagrams, or different things. If you are in the sales, you'll be able to give it the last three-quarter sales results, and you'll be able to ask it, please create me a forecast for Q4. What are the things that I can do to improve my sales pipeline?
That's awesome. So this is like an Excel expert on demand. So normally you would have gone to that person who can really be a wizard with the data sets, but now you're getting that kind of capability as an agent.
Yes, and if I think about myself, I can only use maybe 25% of Excel's capabilities.
25 is high, Alev. Like that, Excel is a beast. I mean, I'm impressed at 25. I'd say I'm probably at the 5. And even that's me asking Copilot how to do it.
It just gives you diagrams and cool bar charts that you can copy and paste into a PowerPoint presentation.
So where's the line here? Because obviously we've got Copilot in Excel as well. So do I start at here with Analyst Agent, or am I in Excel? How would you explain that?
So if you are working on an Excel spreadsheet, it's better to use Copilot in Excel. But if you're planning to work on different kind of data sets, different or multiple Excel spreadsheets, I think Analyst might be better to use. But I'll let Chris.
No, I completely agree. I think In terms of where we first started with Copilot in Excel, within just say like one set spreadsheet with structured data, say like in a table format, for the first like year or so, it was great at doing basic things, which was fine. And then, as you saw, we started adding more advanced analytics in there, but still just in the body of that one spreadsheet. I think where Analyst really kind of goes a way of a step further is obviously that once again there's that deeper reasoning and the advanced like logic in what that data is representing, and especially different data sources, and probably the more complex calculations that need to happen. So once again, like the analyst, same as research, will go and check its findings. It will basically do a lot more deeper diving into that data and understand it a lot better. The Excel in the Copilot in Excel, it's kind of, if you're just working on one set of data and it's quite it's quite a standard format, then yeah, absolutely. But as you start going more into like the data scientist sort of routes, more complex structures, more bespoke formulas, then I think Analyst would probably win hands down in that regard.
Okay, that's good to know. And can I put multiple files into Analyst? So, like you mentioned that I'm already in a workbook there. Potentially, I could put different combinations of workbooks, or a workbook and a PDF potentially.
Yes, you'll be able to select people, files, meetings, as well as emails, and you'll be able to use or upload from your OneDrive as well as your local disk.
Nice. The meetings one's really powerful as well, like being able to pull in, like we talked about what we're trying to achieve. Here's a transcript is interesting. Nice. So that's Analyst, and I think for me that's I feel like researcher is a really broad use case. Analyst is a bit more like I work with data. To kind of switch it up completely, then we've got Interpreter Agent, which is really interesting because this is the first agent we're going to talk about that's dealing with like audio, video, and obviously Teams, which is close to my heart. So how would you explain Interpreter Agent?
I think it's like we've had translation services for a very, very long time. We've done like speech to text. We've got live translation. We've had that through like Bing for quite a while as well. And this is kind of like the one agent where you're not interacting with it. It's kind of just like building on what you're already contributing to. So it's pretty much an autonomous agent. You don't really need to do anything other than talk. So this is kind of where we've taken that one step further in that translation service, where not only will it translate in real time whatever you're saying into another language, but also it replicates your spoken tone in your voice as well, which is like an even better form of like understanding and more, building on that inclusivity and that connection as well. So even though I'm not speaking, say like, Alev's Turkish, if I'm not speaking Turkish, then I don't want to hear like a separate bot speaking in like, that sort of sense anymore, which we've had previously, and there's nothing wrong with it. But what we want to do is just add a bit more personalization to that translation, where it sounds like I'm actually speaking Turkish, or like say like if Alev's speaking in Turkish, it translates to English. It's like, wow, okay, this is phenomenal because I don't actually have to listen out to something else talking to me. It's like Alev is speaking straight to me. So there's some really profound impact to actually being there in the moment and actively contributing, rather than having to read a transcript at the bottom or waiting for a separate bot service to come in, previously we had things like interpreters where you had to look at them and they had to translate for you, and then you had to talk and engage, and this just kind of bridges that gap really effectively. Alev, is there anything else on that one? I know we've been using it quite a lot.
Yeah, I am a fan of Facilitator because we introduced Copilot as like the personal AI assistant, and then we involved and evolved it to become a team AI assistant, because it's now going into meetings and starts generating tasks or start generating meeting notes without you even asking for it. The great thing is it only generates work-related things. So if you are speaking about a movie in the beginning of the meeting, it will left them out. And
this is Facilitator, isn't it? So this is
Facilitator.
Yeah. So this is moving into, if interpreter is language translation and it goes back and forward. And just to round out interpreter, the person who enables that is speaking and having, or how should I say it? The person enabling that is choosing the language they want to receive the communications in. Is that right?
Yeah, so the organizer picks the language that's being spoken to, and then obviously the people receiving would select their language they want to hear it in as well. So, and also as well as that, it's not just one single language translation. You can have multiple going on at the same time. So you can have French, German, Spanish, like all these different translations happening simultaneously. So whoever's listening in would be able to hear it in their language, which I think is quite very, very impactful.
Big for accessibility, isn't it? Where you're like, like most of the orgs I work with are multinational, but English is the preferred language for IT. But actually, I can choose to flip it into my local language I prefer, just because I find that easier to keep up.
Such an easier mental burden, because like Alev, I'm guessing it's just I mean, my wife's Polish, so it's just like having to have that mental capacity to translate in real time in your head, and then obviously you got then like speaking English and stuff. So just natively, it just makes so much more sense and less mental strain as well, I think.
Yes, I think that's one of the things that will require some time to adjust, because if you enable AI interpreter for yourself, you'll also hear your own voice. So it will help when to start speaking, when to stop speaking. But also it will replicate your voice without you even actually recording your voice in the cloud. So it's really great to hear your own voice, but it definitely makes you more engaged with the conversation. You'll be able to select up to nine different languages, and that will remove some of the maybe fractured conversation, because you'll be able to use your own language.
Yeah, and there is some interpretation lag there, isn't there? Naturally, like you're saying it, and then the system is interpreting. So that's why it kind of gives you a playback, because you're like and it's visually, when you turn it on, it's visually in Teams, like someone's using interpreters. That's your cue to be like, okay, let's leave a couple of seconds run off at the end of each sentence for the different interpreters to hit.
So that performance improves if you do upload a voice profile. So what we've got is, obviously, we've got intelligent speaker. So if you've got your voice profile, if that's uploaded, then that actually helps with the performance of the interpreter agent as well, because it has a knowledge source based on your previous whatever it is you've recorded for yourself for that profile. So yeah, we're making some improvements there as well. Yeah, definitely.
And you'll see like an interpreter sign on your video. So I know if I turn on the interpretation.
Nice. Right, let's jump into Facilitator. So Facilitator is another one of these agents that's broadly applicable, right? We're all in meetings. We could all do with a bit more structure around the meeting, and it's doing meeting notes, but Copilot does meeting notes for us too. So what's the difference of Facilitator versus my Copilot?
So we introduced Microsoft 365 Copilot as your personal AI assistant, but the agents like Facilitator, we are actually evolving Copilot to become your team AI assistant. So during your team meetings, it will start generating the notes automatically without you asking for it. It will introduce itself and why it's there, and then it will just start generating notes. It will create a really good organized table if you have action items or follow-up tasks. And the final results, if you are using pages, is amazing.
And it's generating it for the whole team, isn't it? So we're all seeing the same notes in real time, and we can edit and add to those notes. And that's the big difference, is I don't come away with my Copilot summary and you come away with your Copilot summary. We're all in real time agreed. Those are the minutes, and the ability to correct them as you go is really important as well, because AI is fallible. Yes. So it's like, oh, it's not quite got that right, we'll change that, is really useful.
And you'll be able to see if that's not taken by Facilitator or your colleague or by you. So those will be available. And also it will give you a halfway point, and it will let you know if your meeting is about to end. So it will help you with the time management.
Yeah, it feels like we're on the beginning of a journey with Facilitator as well, where it can potentially get more engaged in the meeting. There's been some stuff demoed by Ilya at Enterprise Connect where we're talking about like potential of like it understanding who's engaged, who's not engaged, like being able to see the room through the cameras and be like, oh, the room's not set up right. It's like you're kind of like an awesome PM / facilitator, as the name suggests, like available to everybody, whereas previously you would only get those in certain meetings.
Yeah, during one of my meetings, I asked Facilitator to assign me that task. And because I was using Planner, it created a task in Planner, and I received an email by due date.
Oh, nice. Oh, that would be good. Just straight assignment as well. Awesome. Anything else that's worth talking about on Facilitator? Again, that license-wise, that's part of the Microsoft 365 Copilot. So if you've got that license, you've got access to Facilitator as well. So those are some of the ones that I use fairly regularly, or certainly Researcher and Facilitator. But there's others I'm less familiar with. So where do we want to go next, Alev, in terms of which one do we want to talk about next?
Employee self-service agents, which
I have no idea. I've not used that, so let's get into that.
One of the favorite agents within some of our customers. So employee self-service agents will be integrated within HR systems, IT systems, including ServiceNow, SAP, Workday. So you will have one agent to rule them all when it comes to employee self-service. So we are starting to release it by the end of this month, which is basically now. It will be generally available, and admins will have the capability to use Copilot Studio to configure and integrate with different systems. It can be SharePoint sites, it can be third-party integrations, and we are releasing that as a chatbot at the moment. So I can ask, how can I connect to VPN? At the same time, I can ask, what is the hybrid working situations in Microsoft UK? So this is my platform to go enable to help myself.
So rather than having to trawl the intranet rather, right, like we used to do to try and find the right doc that had the right policy or the right help, it's starting to bring that to the user.
Mm-hmm. And we are expecting it to be evolved to take actions, create tasks, maybe connecting with expense system as well as travel and vacation systems to I would like to book 14 days starting from this day. Will you please book my vacations? Or do my expense on behalf of me? Creates IT tickets as well as creating.
So how's that one work? Because we're talking about in-the-box agent, so that's an in-the-box agent, but how do I feed it the right information?
So you'll be able to configure using Copilot Studio.
Okay, so this is where we start to dip into some configuration. So everything we've talked up to now is like a kind of end-user facing bot. This is the first one we're talking about where it's a native first-party bot, but it does require some config to say, here's the data sets that we want to bring into this conversation.
Yeah. It needs those specific knowledge sources. I mean, even if I think my favorite one I'm going to use is probably, how do I order a new laptop, or can you order me a new laptop? So that'll be my next one, because I think I'm getting close to 3 years now, actually. I think I'm due one. So I'll be getting on that employee self-service agent.
New Surface Arm ones are amazing.
Copilot plus PC, and I'm still waiting. But so things like that, it needs to follow what the right structure is, the ordering platforms, the systems. So each customer is going to have different systems and different policies. So we need to tap into that basically. So even though we'll make it really easy to interface with that employee self-service agent, it just needs a bit of configuration in the back end.
And the last one we want to talk about was Skills Agent, another one I'm not so familiar with. So what's Skills Agent?
In a nutshell, it's like we're all about connecting people. It's all about empowerment. We've had things like LinkedIn skills for quite a while. We know what people's skills are based on things like, standard things like your resume, whatever you're putting onto that social media platform. And what we're effectively doing is we've had that already inside of Entra ID as well, where we have that metadata where we can really start to encourage people to connect with other people based on their skills. So what this agent is effectively going to do is it's going to tap into that information and help you discover people with set skills. It may be that you've taken on a new project and you need someone with dynamic skills. By interacting with the skills agent, it's able to uncover you all of those people with said dynamic skills that they have they have approved themselves. So it's also in your control to say, I want people to know that I'm an Office 365 expert, or I'm an expert in Exchange or project management. I'm ITIL certified.
And this is within your organization. So this is bigger organization. I've jumped into a new project. Who are the people that know about that skill set? Or I'm doing a new project, who would That's really interesting.
Yeah. So for us at Microsoft, we love it because obviously Microsoft is such a massive global company. To find someone that works in like, or specializes in like Bing, for example, we could just interact with this instead of me having to search through countless amounts of emails or trying to find people.
You just put it into Viva Engage and pray. You're like, can someone help me with this?
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it's really good. So it's all like connecting people through just interacting with the agent to begin with.
So how's it picking up who has what skills? How are we feeding that? Is that like from our profiles? Is that self-service? How do we set it up?
Yeah. So Alev, I believe this is all based on metadata in Entra ID.
Yes. So we'll just have the new Microsoft 365 profile cards and card editor, and I'll be able to define my skill set. But also, if you are using Viva Learning, so we have access to all of these data as well as the Organization Explorer, People Companion. So Skills Agent will be able to use this.
Oh, amazing. So if you've invested in some of that journey already, you're going to be able to leverage that investment, which is nice.
Yes. So one of the things that we hear about some of the how can we improve employee experience, and so human resources is all about the employees anyways. Within the skill agent, the organization leaders can use the skills agent to just create informed strategical workforce planning, because now we are in a different age where we can have the skill gaps in between different generations. So if I would like to improve my soft skill about just speaking in a podcast or just presenting in a public environment, I'll be able to search that through my organization. And in Microsoft, we run on coach model care. So this is our 3 pillars when it comes to being a leader. And if I would like to, we have more than 250,000 employees in the world. And if I would like to just have leadership skill sets, I can actually go and search through my organization and find someone in the UK, or I can just find in the US.
Yeah, it's amazing to be able to cross connect between different teams in different regions, and actually very often the best person to ask is not necessarily going to be in the same BU or country as you necessarily. Actually, they might be in a different country or a different business.
And it's all about learning and growing into your day-to-day roles, and this is how AI can just help us.
Awesome. Alev, Chris, amazing introduction into the kind of what's in the box. We'll do a part 2 where we'll get into Copilot Studio and what you can take these engines and kind of take them to the next level. Because I know both of you have been working with customers doing some really interesting kind of more line of business use cases. So there's a whole another piece of this puzzle, which is these are almost like good in the box use cases. But I think you really unlock the power when you're like, okay, like let's look at the business and see how we can leverage this same power to do line of business things.
100%.
Awesome.
I cannot remember the days without Microsoft 365 Copilot.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, both of you. If anyone's got any questions, do drop them below, and look out for part 2 where we talk about Copilot Studio and building your own agents. Thanks a lot, Alev, Chris. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, Tom.
You.